Hiking Guides. I'm your host Michael, and today in this video we're going to be talking about leadership and the importance of leadership when you're taking a bunch of people out for a hike. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about leadership and the importance of leadership within hiking and some of the the good and the bad or whatever. And some of the things regarding leadership on your hikes. Let's go ahead and dig into this. I'm looking forward to talking about this. Let me go ahead and take off my Ultra Ego sunglasses and pull in more sophisticated glasses. Not to say these aren't cool. I'm so used to my regular glasses. Now they're stuck. All right. Speaking of leaders, we have some amazing trees right by us. I mean, these are the real true natural leaders right here. Oh, I always reflect on those guys. Okay, so we're up here in beautiful California. Came back from Nevada after exploring the amazing, wonderful Lake Tahoe, doing that swimming video. I loved it so much. It was fun to have Ryan out there with Beyond the Reel and kind of just explore a little bit. I wanted to get deeper out there, but maybe next year I'll do some other videos in the water and we'll get way deeper out there. But fun video nonetheless, so if you haven't seen that video, feel free to check it out. I'll leave it at the end of the video. Okay, so we're going to talk about leadership, and this is one thing that I see quite a bit out there. I mean, we have a lot of hiking groups in the Bay Area. There's a ton of them. Some of them are little, some of them are big, and some of them are just tiny little groups. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on within those groups and stuff that I've kind of learned along the way from some amazing people that do really good leading, and then some stuff that's like, I don't know if that's the best choice to have as far as running a group. So first off, when you're a leader and you're leading a hike, I'm going to go through some real key factors here, okay? And if you're starting off, I know it could be super stressful. It's like, oh my God, Don't overwhelm yourself too much, okay? I've run some groups before, okay, I'll tell you. But I've assisted a lot of groups too. I've just kind of been on the back burner and kind of just been there and be present. And then if they needed me, I've kind of stepped up and offered some of my services to help them out, but not automatically taking over and saying, all right, I'm running this place. Name's Clint Eastwood. And one of the key things to do is kind of understand the mileage that you're doing. So go, okay, well, I'm going to do a hike, and you can go on Google. Sometimes they can kind of give you an idea of the mileage. Also, AllTrails has some phenomenal hikes on there all around the world, pretty much, almost. And they've got some really cool hikes and trails that you can go venture off and check out that are really awesome on AllTrails. I highly recommend. They have some really good ideas, and they already got pretty much the mileage and all the elevation on there already for you, so that definitely helps. But understanding the mileage that you're doing, you don't have to be exact. There's some people out there that are kind of like, all right, we're doing 4.3. Well, my measurements say 4.4. You're off. I mean, you're gonna get some engineering kind of personalities out there, but it's always important to kind of take that into account, because you want to know your mileage, but you don't have to be totally exact, but kind of have a rough estimate, and then have your, you're doing a round trip or what you want to do, and then go and pre-hike it. To go out there, pre-hike the hike, and kind of see how it is for you is really, really important. And then also getting the elevation as best as you possibly can, and go check out AllTrails, and they kind of already have an idea of the elevation. Elevation and mileage are totally two different things. It's not one and the same, all right? And also take into account, okay, well, if I'm doing something that's going to be a mile long and I got to go up 800 feet, well, that's a big difference if you got to go a mile long and you're only doing 150 feet or 100 feet. That's a big, big difference. So you have to take that into account too. I mean, there's places out here that are a 6-mile hike that are like, oh, it's pretty easy. It's just a wandering around, hiking a little bit and having a good time. And then there's places like Mission Peak where it's like, oh, you're doing a 6-miler and you're going to be in for fun. So always take note of that. And then everybody that joins your group, kind of take a look at their shoes, see if they've got the right shoes on, if it's going to be safe for them to be wearing those shoes. Also, if they have enough water is pretty important. And then also to kind of go, what's your experience? Have experience here? Talk with everybody. Don't just be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to that guy. So let's talk about hours and the time that it takes to get from point A to point B. So a lot of people will end up going, and they'll go and they'll, okay, well, it's going to be 3.5 hours, okay? But you might have some people that join up the group and they might be a little slower than everybody else. So I wouldn't say 3.5 hours, I'd say more like 4.5 hours. So you're accounting for everybody within your group because you're going to have slower people versus faster people. And it doesn't matter if you're faster or slower or vice versa, okay? That has nothing to do with that. Speed is used as a training method. That's the only time I ever use speed is training for a particular, big adventure that somebody's about to do. But other than that, you don't need to impress people with your speed. And if you're trying to be one of those speedsters that want to get from point A to point B really fast, you probably best not be hiking with groups to begin with, or find people that are kind of wanting to do the same thing, because people tend to get stuck into this thing where it's like, well, what's going on? You're 45 minutes behind. Well, they're not, it's a casual hike. You're hiking with the group, not, extended branches of the group with vice versa. Now, it's okay to have, your faster group's going to kind of be a little bit ahead, but you still want to stay within that group and communicate back and forth. Communication's key. Get some walkie-talkies. There's some cheap stuff out on Amazon you can buy and be able to communicate back and forth. And you've got your sweep. So you have your sweep, which is going to be way back in the group, and they're going to be more with the people that are kind of beginners or people that just want to take it easy. Doesn't necessarily mean they're beginners, or doesn't necessarily mean they're slow. It's maybe the people want to kind of just take it easy and embrace the environment around them. You want to have that on the sweep. And then you get your core, your mid, and those are going to be people kind of in the middle. And then you get your point, which is the more faster people that just kind of want to go, yeah, I'm here for exercise. And they want to get ahead of the rest of the group. Maybe they want to spread away from everybody. Maybe they want to, bump it up a speed notch for that day. It could be a multitude of things, but that's going to be your point. And so you want to communicate back and forth with everybody. And every junction, whether you have some kind of agreement prior or before the hike, every junction is very important to know your junctions and then communicate within those junctions through walkie-talkie with the other person and saying, hey, yeah, like we're out here and we just got to junction. What do you want me to do? And then the leader can go from there. Hey, yeah, go ahead and move up to the next junction, or wait for us. We'll be right up there. We're 5 minutes behind. So it's key to understand that. Don't get overwhelmed. Also, don't come from a point of, well, I am the ultra hiker. I do this all the time. There's going to be so many people within your group that are really strong in certain areas. So let's say you have a group that you're meshing with, that you're going to go off and take some big, massive adventure. Maybe you're going up to LAC for Tahoe or something, or maybe you're going to do the Grand Canyon, or you're going up Shasta, which is technical, but hey, why not? And you're going to do these things, so you want to mesh as a group, and you're going to form that little small, tight, small knit group. So we're going to talk about small knit groups and training within these groups to go and do some big adventure like Grand Canyon. You're going to stay down and backpack and vice versa, and you've kind of got a leader, but you also have other people within that group. It's really, really good that you mesh together. So maybe go out and camp together, backpacking trips together, and kind of understand the group. Because if you got one bad apple within the group, it can make a whole lot of other people unhappy. So it's good to know that your groups are meshing together and also team players. It's very, very important, and they all kind of have specific jobs to do. Now, understanding that you're all pretty much leaders within, but you've kind of got your designated person that kind of organizes everything. And know the strengths and weaknesses within your group. Maybe you got a nurse in your group, or someone that's a doctor, or someone that really knows a lot about medical. That's a gift from above. Wow, I wish I had that. So that's a really cool thing to take into mind. Or maybe someone's within your group and they're really good at water. They're really good about knowing about their feet, and their feet doctors. I mean, that's a blessing from above too. So always know people's strengths and weaknesses. Or, hey man, I live out in the jungles all the time, and when we get to this point, or I know a lot about deserts or whatever, and they kind of know about taking in water and the science to look at. Now you're going to use them as a gem within your group, okay? And you're going to find out everybody's strengths and weaknesses. Whether they're starting off or whether they're not starting off, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses, and you can use that and utilize that within your group. Now, a good leader, a good person, a good boss, hey, I got your buddy. You ever got those bosses out there that are kind of like D-I-C-K? And I've had a few bosses in my life where it's just, oh, all right, you want to be here for the training? Let's get it on. Hey, dude, can you... It's intense. I don't know how people deal with that kind of personality. No, I always make people around me better, or make them stronger around you, and really make them enjoy the experience, is make an impact on them in a positive way. Make them better than when they started. kind of, hey, boost them up, hey, you're gonna be great. Also, when you're doing your hikes, come up with some kind of marking or something where you can kind of, hey, you know, we're gonna put a flag on each marker so people don't get lost. We're gonna do something, and then we're gonna have the sweep pick up the flag each junction, or however you want to do it, and get that worked out so you guys all know that no one gets lost. And you're counting heads as well. You're gonna, okay, we got this guy, we got that guy, we got that. Always good to count heads, you know, before you start, and then count heads after you start. Introduce yourselves. That's always good too. Get the introduction, you know, a little circle conversation, little introduction, powwow. And then if someone wants to head off and go back to the car, that they communicate with you and say, yeah, you know what, I gotta run, I got somewhere I gotta be, or this isn't really my thing and I know how to get back to the car. But you acknowledge with them, they acknowledge with the leader, and then, you know, they're on their way. But remember, we're all leaders within each other, and we all have powers and strengths and weaknesses within each other. We can all, as one, make each other better. It's not just one guy. And don't overwhelm yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself with, I'm taking care of everybody. I was doing the Grand Canyon. We had to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, get 2 hours of sleep, and I'm trying to get everybody all situated. And I forgot that I had a cotton shirt on going down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Until I got to the bottom, I'm wondering why my temperatures are all wacky. I'm going down at 20 degrees, and I realize I have a cotton shirt on, and it's sweating, you know, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So now I got to carry up this wet, sweaty cotton shirt. That's going to add a pound or a pound and a half back up the Grand Canyon. I'm cooling my body temperature down in not a fun way. So always make sure to take care of yourself as well and understand what you need. Also, the good thing is this communication within each other. When you're hiking within your group and hiking around each other, you're like, hey, what's going on? Always good to know, hey, I'm feeling kind of different. There's something going on with me. I'm having issues with my knee, or can we take a break for a minute? And let everybody know what's going on. Hey, I got to take a potty break. Whatever it might be, but always make sure that you're communicating back and letting people know about what's going on with your body. We're not all, you know, we're not Gandalfs walking around and, you know, knowing what's going on. We're all sitting here with crystal balls as we hike, you know. So it's good to know and let people know what's going on with you, so you can communicate with the leader, and maybe they go, hey, you know, Dr. Brown back there is pretty good. So you can communicate with the leader, and then he can do what's necessary to help out. It's kind of good to bring a little extra water in a car if you need to. If someone didn't have enough water, that's always good. Also, to carry a medical pack with you, and that's always important, so you have it with you. You don't have a medical pack and someone gets hurt, well, and you have no Dr. Brown, I don't know what's going to go, but it's not going to be good. And stuff does happen. You know, people do fall, they do get hurt. Sign a waiver, do a waiver form. It does happen, though. So take that into precaution. If someone has a dog, they'll bring in a dog with them to make sure they leash up their dog, okay? That's important, you know. And if I ever am on a hike with you and I come off as a big fat mess of, well, you get it, let me know, okay? Doesn't help anybody else out. Say, hey, you know, can I talk to you for a minute? You're a dick. I did a hike one time, and they were leading it. I was, you know, not a leader, not a part of the hike. You know, I was not a member of the, you know, the sweep or anything like that. And I kind of went about it, and I'm like, hey, okay, cool, this is cool. So I kind of stayed in the back. And I did it for mainly photography, but I also did it for the fact that I want to kind of see how they run things when people are a little slower. So I acted out that I was slower than I really was, and I got very mistreated. So it was really shocking to me. So don't do that. Not that I was not incapable. They wanted me to like go back to the car in the parking lot. And I'm like, hey guys, come on, dude. Jeez. And I said, oh no, I'll pick up the pace. So I finally put my camera away, and well, let me tell you. Wild Coyote could not keep up with the Roadrunner. I started taking off, and I got midway, and I got up to the group, and I started getting all the way up at the top. And finally, I got to the guy that was like ultra ego alpha man. You know, he was challenging all the women within the group, which is, why do we do that? Does not make any sense to me. But he actually ran out of water, so I had to help assist him with water. And who looked like a fool after that? So he was running out of water, and he was in a really, really bad state, and I had to supply water to him. So here he is challenging everybody that he's better than everybody and challenging him up the hill, and then he runs out of water. Yeah. He probably needed a hug, which he didn't want. I don't know why he didn't want a hug. I mean, my hugs are pretty good. I mean, they're certified. 4 years in college in hugs. It's a class that you can go to teach you hugs. I got my masters in hugs. My hugs are so powerful, they just positive enzymes go in their body and then it jolts them around. And then one last thing to always take into account, the weather, conditions in the weather. You know, if you're dealing with thunder and lightning, you're dealing with rain, you're dealing with snow, always take that into account of what's going to happen. And if you find someone within your hike that might know more than you do and they're not part of your group and they might have some really good knowledge that you can use, hey, soak it up. Ask them questions. All right, guys, thank you so much for checking out the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it very informative. I cannot wait for fall to be turning in here. We're still going to be in the present. We're still going to enjoy the summer and what's left of it. But fall is coming, and it's coming strong. I'm out here just checking out some of the black oaks. You know what I'm talking about, Tyler. Oh, yeah. Checking stuff out, making sure everything's up to speed, checking out the Buckeyes, big leaf maples, checking all that stuff out, seeing how they're doing. Things are going as normal. The clock is ticking. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. But check out our other videos. They're awesome.